We're here with the 2022 Copa Virginia Summer Event Masters Brown Belt Finals.
Christopher Connor in the black gi versus Christopher Bellacicco in the white.
Connor coming in for a single initially. Bellacicco sprawling out on it, and Connor turns that into a really nice hip bump.
Little pseudo Uchimata, if you will.
Uchimata. Laying in. Now, we saw this kind of pressure from Connor in his last match. He took top position and played really, really heavy up into the head, working on maintaining his opponent's flat back, and we're seeing that here again against Bellacicco.
Now let's see if Bellacicco will start to use his game of being a little bit more mobile, elevating, or if he's going to be shut down by the pressure of Connor. And right now, that seems to be the case. Connor, again, working the pressure, trying to work to the back, just as is in previous matches.
And he's moved himself from half guard into three-quarter guard here. Three-quarter guard can be a little bit challenging to get out of, but Connor does a really nice job flipping his hips, sliding his knee through, and clearing that quarter guard, and he gets his 3 points for the pass.
So now Connor up 5-0 on Christopher Bellacicco. Again, brutal pressure from the top, just holding down, and Bellacicco's really got to start creating space and getting on his side to get back into his guard, and he does not have a happy face right now.
Bellacicco's got this grip on the top of Connor's back, but Connor's using that to his advantage, and he collected that arm. He has some opportunities to attack on that arm, straight arm locks. And
looking for a ninja choke, possibly.
Looking for the ninja choke, and he's got to keep that far arm in order to land it down. Dropping his weight in, but loses the choke in the process, maintains north-south, and he's still got Bellacicco's arm removed from his body.
He's actually underneath of his left arm, holding the lapel from the back, keeping him in place.
It's a tight position to be in.
Abandoning that, transitioning back to more of a traditional side control.
Connor's doing a really nice job here, transitioning across topside positions. It's going to be really challenging on the bottom to deal with that, because every time you start to think that you're going to get an escape, you have your opponent move into a new position, and it gets really tiring really fast. It's a great way to cook someone from on top.
Absolutely.
Connor laying heavy pressure in the crossface here and looking to isolate that arm again.
Almost going for the gable grip, switching back over to underneath the head, holding the lapel, pressuring hard to Bellacicco's right, keeping him facing that way so he cannot turn in and possibly re-guard.
Bellacicco hasn't stopped fighting this, though. He's consistently moving around and getting his grip set. You see him trying to creep his left arm in under the armpit to start to frame out, and he's doing an okay job with that outside arm, keeping a little bit of back pressure on Connor as he moves forward, but Connor's doing an even better job collecting that arm and preventing him from doing it.
The pressure looks absolutely brutal. Transitions right over to the arm.
Now, Connor had been working on isolating that arm for a while.
Controls it, starts to torque it, doesn't have a full control. That's going to be 2 points for Connor because Bellacicco escaped out of bounds. There's the 2.
And they start back standing. So now we have Connor up 7-0 with almost 2.5 minutes left in the match. Connor pulls guard. Bellacicco tries to pull guard. Connor immediately passes off of it, and we're back into this heavy pressure side control position.
Connor also given the 2 for the takedown as the pull was a little slow, and Connor got the grips and followed him down.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
We're back into this crossface that Connor's been laying heavy on Bellacicco the entire match.
It's really just sapping all of Bellacicco's energy out of him. As you said earlier, he's really just cooking him here.
And we can see Bellacicco starting to wear a little bit. Some of those frames that he was working on aren't being put in as tight and as heavy as they were 2 minutes ago, say. And that's part of the game.
And Connor seems to possibly be looking for that north-south choke, starting to transition up. The left arm underneath of the head. Has the grip partially at least. Cannot see where the right arm is, but he looks to be trying to sink it.
It looked like Connor needed to get his lat a little bit closer to Bellacicco's shoulder to get into the choke there. Bellacicco able to suffer through it. Connor looking like he's going to make another attempt at it, or possibly working to isolate the far arm again and maybe hit that same armbar that we saw him attempt earlier. in the match.
He's keeping that lapel grip to keep him down. He might transition down to a paper cutter choke.
Just an onslaught of submission setups here from Connor. All of them looking very well thought out. Bellacicco doing a nice job recognizing those submission attempts, but he's definitely on the defensive here. Down 9 points. It's going to be hard for him to come back.
And a little under a minute to work.
Bellacicco looking to get that hook, turning his back up into turtle position.
Connor attacking the neck while trying to throw the hooks in to get the back position. He's got one hook in. He's off to his side just a little bit. If he could bring him up and into him or roll him the opposite way, which would be a little bit harder, could take the back. Got a little under 30 seconds now. Connor in full control of this match.
Bellacicco has that overhook on Connor's arm. You can sometimes use the sweep, but he didn't manage to hold on to it. Connor slips out to the side and regains side control.
Using the seldom seen power half from the back positioning. We end with an advantage for the mount, not having enough time to stabilize. Connor taking the match 9-0 over Bellacicco.
And that's your brown belt Masters champion, Christopher Connor, here at Copa Virginia 2022.